Hello, welcome. It's different space. I'm back in my room today, and I really felt like doing this video because I feel like lately my videos have been very curated, very advice based. If you can hear that, that's the wind outside. Very loud, very cold right now. But I feel like a lot of my videos have been very curated, very polished in terms of what I've wanted to talk about, how I show up on camera. And I am coming to you today in my pajamas, in my room, because I wanted to share with you. I am always constantly learning so much more about myself. Typically, when I'm going through something, I don't like to publicize it or talk about it on socials or whatever it is. I rarely talk about anything on socials when I'm going through something, even after the fact. But I am learning so much about myself that I felt like it was important for me to do this. So, for context, I am producing and hosting a talk show independently. I'm one of the producers. And yesterday, I basically just had an interaction with someone who had been on the team, and they had just mentioned, having, I guess, an unpleasant experience without like getting into too much. I can't even, I'm like tripping over my words. Without getting into too much detail, they had just like had an unpleasant experience and had expressed that and expressed their like disappointment, I guess, with maybe how I had handled the situation or whatever it might be, or how I had communicated something in the situation. And I kid you not, guys, it was like fight or flight for me when I tell you this. You'd think that I had done something really, really awful, and I didn't. I think the situation was just a miscommunication thing, a learning as you go kind of thing. But the way that my body panicked immediately, my chest got tight. I started like my heart started pounding incredibly fast, immediately felt like a pit drop in my stomach. And to tell you that I am literally still feeling some of the anxiety today, this happened literally over 24 hours ago, and I am still feeling it now. And of course, I've been doing all of these things to try and calm myself down. And after the initial wave of panic, I think that I was feeling, it allowed me to just pause for a second and think, like, why am I so flustered about this? Because I had told or spoken to like three other people about it, and they had kind of seen how I was feeling in the moment, and they were like, girl, you gotta chill. Like, I get you, but it's not that deep. Like, it's gonna be fine. And even as I'm speaking now, I think it sounds heavy in my voice because it still feels a bit heavy in my body. And it made me realize how unhealed parts of ourselves will literally jump out at us whenever the frig they feel like it. And especially in these situations, we will be tested, I think, to see how much we have grown as humans if we really are walking the walk that we say we are. I feel like I like to come on here and talk a lot about self-development, becoming the best version of yourself, as I always say, which I of course am trying to do. And it's always a work in progress, but I feel like yesterday and even still currently, I am being drastically tested because I kid you not, it felt like the world was ending. And my immediate thought went to, this person hates me. This person is mad at me. This person is never going to want to work with me or anything that I have to do with again. They might go and tell a bunch of people that I'm awful to work with, or at the very least, have a very bad taste in their mouth from an experience that I kind of caused. And it made me so uncomfortable. And after getting over that initial wave of panic, of anxiety, it made me think about my younger self and where these feelings were stemming from. And of course, I know that I was, growing up a very big people pleaser. I never wanted anyone to ever be mad at me. I didn't want anyone to ever have anything negative to say about me. And I feel like even now as an adult, I've tried to get rid of some of that. It's not completely gone. I think these things take so much work and so much time, and so much self awareness to really dive into. But as an adult, like, just to be honest and be transparent, a large part of me genuinely cares so much about what people think of me. I genuinely do care about how I am perceived. And I don't know if I come across as that on or not in real life or online, whatever, however you might view me. I do care a lot about what people think about me. I think to an extent that it becomes detrimental to my well-being if I make a mistake, or if I hurt somebody unintentionally. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, oh my goodness. And I think I often battle with, I think we all like to view ourselves as doing our best in life, which I would hope we're all doing our best and trying our best. But I think I, for a long part of my life, for a long time, I walked around with this mindset that like things were being done to me and I was doing no wrong to anybody else because I'm a good person. And sometimes there are just bad people that will do bad things to you. Um, so to like be an adult and be self-conscious and understand that you can do wrong to people even when you don't mean to. You can have the best intentions and still hurt people, and people can still be mad at you or not want to associate with you, and they're completely valid in that. Like, that part is uncomfortable because I'm now obviously battling with how I view myself as somebody I think who can do no wrong. I think that genuinely I might not admit it. I might not like to admit it. It feels very uncomfortable to say it even anyways right now. As you can tell, I'm getting like short of breath, but I think I do like to view myself as somebody who is more often than not right or doing the right thing and doing right by people. So when I don't do that, when something else happens, it like literally shatters my entire world. Like, I was literally crying yesterday. And if you guys knew like the ins and outs of what the situation was, I don't think it's probably, I think most of you would be like, "Girl, why are you crying over that?" But I kid you not, guys, it does something to my entire being when I think about people disliking me. And I don't know what the heck this is about. Obviously it stems from childhood and I think I'm dissecting it, but holy crap, I am so uncomfortable. And I'm glad to say that, it's been over 24 hours and I'm over that initial hurdle, but I'm at a point now where I'm observing my behavior and my reaction to things. And it's just so fascinating to see how, like, I'm someone who typically is pretty emotionally regulated. I take care of myself. I try to read and journal as much as I can, do some meditations, say affirmations, because I understand the importance of a positive inner voice and just doing your best to curate a life for yourself that feels authentic, that feels safe. And in that moment when I got this message from this person, I felt so unsafe in my body. I could not think about anything else. I went to bed still thinking about it. I woke up literally still thinking about it. And it's making me emotional now again because I'm just like wondering why I'm feeling such intense emotions. It's fascinating because I don't usually like to talk through things as I'm going through them, but as you can probably tell, I am literally going through it. But I wanted to talk about it because I think this is my authentic self. This is me actually working through the shit that I'm going through in real time. And of course, like, I am absolutely with the mindset, like, as uncomfortable as it is, as unfun as it is right now, as terrible as I feel right now, and as much as I don't want to deal with this situation, hate it, um, it's obviously teaching me something about myself. And I think, the universe has a funny way of giving us what we ask for. For the past, I want to say 2 weeks, I have felt like I've been in a season of transformation, or like a season of transformation has been coming, and I didn't know what it was. I haven't felt a strong urge to do work, and as like, I'm someone who can be a workaholic. Like, if I really am passionate about something, I will, like, I love to put my time and energy and effort into that thing. And lately I've been really wanting to take a step back and take a step inward and journal and read. I'm literally reading The Untethered Soul right now, but just do a lot of self work. And I feel like it's because I've been sensing this season of transformation coming, and I didn't know what the heck it was. And I feel like it's funny because it's been like 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half, and this situation decides to happen. And it shakes up my entire body in a very intense way, like, that I haven't felt in like months, I feel like. Um, and it's, as uncomfortable as it is, it's forcing me to kind of take a step back and think about the big picture. Like, why do I get so triggered by people being upset with me, by the idea or thought of someone not liking me? There's so many people out here in the world. We're not all gonna like each other. And I've said it before, I don't like everybody. You don't like everyone. I'm sure you don't. And it's normal. But I think it's even worse for me when it is somebody that I have some form of a connection with, that I like know in real life, that has a reason to be upset with me. Because that then ties back into the fact that I did something wrong. And I feel like I like to move around. I like to navigate life as though I'm the wind. The wind is screaming and howling. I think I like to act like, or like navigate life as though I'm rarely doing anything wrong, because I try my best to be intentional, but I think to be a human it means like even with our best intentions, we're going to mess up sometimes. And I think, I don't know, maybe growing up I felt like I couldn't mess up. I was a people pleaser, with everyone, like teachers, my parents, my friends, my family members, no matter who it was. Like I really felt very uncomfortable doing any wrong or messing up. And it's just so interesting how it's walked with me and literally joined me into adulthood, in a way that like literally feels debilitating. And I'm a little, I don't want to say irritated with myself. That sounds a bit harsh, but I am a little bit, I guess, you know what? No, I won't even say that. I've observed that the emotions have been feeling so intense. Like in situations like these, I feel so deeply and intensely about the situation, and it genuinely pains me so much that it can throw off my day. And I think that's also what's bothering me, because I didn't necessarily get as much done as I wanted to today, because I felt like I needed to take a day to kind of reset my emotions and reset my nervous system. And it's made me think, like, if I want a career in the media, if I want a career in the public eye, I'm going to have to figure this shit out, because this is not going to be the first time that somebody has had a negative experience with me, maybe, or maybe doesn't like me. And I'm not to say that this person doesn't like me. I don't think that's what the case is. It's just they're unhappy, and I feel very bad about that. But if I am somebody who has these big dreams for myself, and the littlest of things are throwing me off completely, throwing off my day to the point where I can't work anymore, or I can't think properly, or it's consuming my entire being. What am I to do if I had 1 million followers and I did something that people didn't like? What then? What happens now? Like, I don't know. I think it's just interesting, because sometimes we ask ourselves, or we ask the universe or God or whomever, like, why don't I have this thing yet? Why am I not exactly where I think I should be in this moment? And I think that's when we have to genuinely ask ourselves, am I even ready for this thing that I want? Do I even want it that bad for real? Because I know I can say I probably am not ready to be completely immersed in the public eye. I get burnt out. I get burnt out when I socialize with people too much. Um, I am clearly like, it impacts my entire being if I do something wrong. So it's like I have to be able to accept myself for who I am, know that it's okay to do wrong, and not feel like it is the end of the world if things don't go as planned. If I make a mistake, if I mess up, if I hurt someone unintentionally. So yeah, I feel like I'm coming on here just to hmm, what am I even here to say? Sorry. I I don't know. I felt like I wanted to come and talk. I haven't posted a video this week, and I don't know. It just feels like there has been a lot on my chest, and I've needed to say something about it, and just, I guess, address the fact that I'm a human that is trying. I'm literally trying. If you're on this channel, if you find me, I will absolutely do my best to just be my authentic self and express what I am going through, of course, with still giving myself privacy, but just to actually, I guess, document the actual human experience. Like, as someone who probably is perceived to have things figured out, I feel like people tell me that all the time, that like I look like I have it all figured out. I have my systems in place. I'm very regimented. I don't. And sometimes things throw me off completely to the point where it frigs me up for an entire day. And I'm probably still going to think about it a little bit after this. Of course, I'm going to read my book. I'm going to journal again. Maybe meditate for a bit. But yeah, it's you can think you have things figured out. You can think you know what's going on. You can think you know everything about yourself and what triggers you and what doesn't. And then something can come out of the blue to test you again, or to give you with another lesson, or to force you to take a step back and think about how you're reacting, what your triggers are, maybe something that you like really need to heal to get to the next level. So yeah, thank you guys for listening to this a little disorganized video, rant, chat, whatever it is. I'm fine. I didn't come on here to be a victim. I'm not a victim, and I don't need people to be, oh my god, are you okay? We're great. We are so good. We're always going to be okay, even when we're not. but I just felt it valuable for me to come on here and describe what my experience is, because it was so uncomfortable and I'm still going through it, to the point where it has forced me to look from my, goodness gracious, look from the outside onto me and what my perceived threats are, and why I feel like I'm reacting like this, like why my literal body is acting up like this. So yeah. Last thing, I was recently watching a video by Rashani P, and love her content on here. I love her videos, love her talks. And she was saying that like your body knows, like before your mind does, sometimes more than your mind does, like your body will tell you things about yourself. And I do so much self work to the point to make sure that like I don't have any negative self talk. At least for the most part. I'm not gonna say never, but you know, we're humans. But to the point where I am so conscious of the content that I consume, of what I read, of what I listen to, of what I say about myself and about others. And even still in this moment, it didn't matter because my body was really telling me that something like was wrong and went into fight or flight mode immediately. And it was just showing me like where I really needed to do the work, because I started tensing up. It completely, my heart started pounding in my chest. You'd think somebody was dying. Like it was that bad. Like it was that bad. Um so yeah, I just think it's so fascinating. Like your body does know. Um and don't demonize your emotions when you go through things like this. Don't demonize the circumstance. Do not victimize yourself either and think, "Oh, great, like now I have to be going through this." Like just try and take yourself out of it and ask yourself, what is this showing me? What is this teaching me about myself? How can I learn from it? How can I grow? How can I create better systems? How can I take care of myself so that when these situations do arise again, I know what to do to make sure that I'm okay. Maybe tell yourself a few affirmations, say you're safe, say that you are loved and that it's okay to make a mistake, whatever it is. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. In my pajamas, it's evening. I just had to get on here. But yeah, if you're working through anything right now, you're doing great. And I think the first step is just acknowledging that, you know, we're not perfect humans and sometimes things are gonna suck, but it's okay because we're doing our best and everything is happening for us, not to us, so that we can become the best versions of ourselves. Anyways, have a beautiful day. Um, I love you. I hope you're doing good. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.